The Xbox strategy continues to work as Xbox reports great growth in Q2 2022. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So we got the fiscal year 2022 Q2 financials from Microsoft yesterday, and there are some very impressive numbers here from the Xbox division, from Microsoft's gaming division, really showing that the current strategy that Xbox has is the right strategy for them, just the right strategy in general when we look at some of these numbers, and Xbox just continues to grow. So first of all, here, some big numbers. If we're comparing this entire calendar year over year from last year, they actually reported revenue of $16.28 billion for the 2021 calendar year, which means it's the best calendar year on record, beating the previous high of 2020. Total gaming revenue is up 17.7%, content and services up 8.8%, and hardware revenue is up a whopping 63.3%. Now, specifically with the content and services revenue, they made $12.6 billion, and that's the 8.8% increase from year over year. And this includes things like Game Pass, first-party releases, and I guess any of just the content services that are available through Xbox. When you log on to the console, you log into the ecosystem. And that's huge, because you look at what this information tells us here is that there was actually a decline in third-party title sales compared to last year in this report, meaning that Game Pass, the content on the service, the first-party games that Xbox is releasing for full price through the Xbox store, through a physical version, as well as into Xbox Game Pass, is outweighing the decline in the third-party title sales. And third-party title sales in general, I believe, for like the big ones like Call of Duty Vanguard, have not been selling as well. You look at Battlefield 2042, that was supposed to be a huge release, and that game has been tanking recently. So this is pretty impressive news, I'd say, for Xbox, showing that the Game Pass subscription service, all that type of stuff, can offset a bad year from some of the best-selling third-party games if they don't sell as well on your system. And in general, from the whole piece of the pie, content and services is 77% of the revenue for Xbox, and then the hardware is 23% of the revenue. But what I see a lot from these numbers is it's really just proving to the entire industry just how successful the subscription model is, what Xbox is doing with Game Pass, and how if you have a ecosystem like Xbox have, you can offset any of the negative trends within the industry, such as the chip shortages where you can't push out as much hardware, third-party sales not doing as well across the entire industry. You can offset that and still break revenue records with something like Xbox Game Pass, which means you're definitely going to see, like I've said multiple times in my videos and my podcast and everything like that, you're going to see PlayStation following in the footsteps of Xbox, potentially going to see Nintendo following in these footsteps, and the whole industry is going within this direction. And every time Xbox shows their growth and shows how it is looking like the way to go with the way that the industry is changing, companies are going to take notice and want to get a piece of that subscription model pie. Now, specifically with the hardware revenue, it was $3.7 billion revenue, which is up 63.3% year over year, and obviously driven by the continued demand for the Xbox Series X and S. We know that the Xbox Series X and S is selling out everywhere, and we also know that Phil Spencer has said that it's not specifically the supply that's really the issue at this point compared to other generations, because they've actually outsold up to this point more than any other generation, which puts the Xbox Series X and S sales estimated at around 12 million plus. It's more so the fact that just the demand is so crazy high for the Series X and S that they're having trouble keeping up. Yes, the chip shortage, yes, the pandemic has played part in those supply issues, but I kind of think if there was no COVID and there was no chip shortages, they would obviously be selling more consoles, but I still think there would be a supply constraint of some sort. Like, I still think it would be harder to get these consoles at this point in time than it was for like the previous generation with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. There's just so much demand this gen for all of the consoles, Series X, Series S, and the PlayStation 5. And it also just shows you that whether you have exclusive locks to a box or not, it really doesn't make that huge of a difference for pushing console sales. The ecosystem thing is the smarter way to go, because people are still going out to buy your console, and you're able to offset negative third-party sales, and you're gonna beat all of your revenue records because of the subscription model. So to sum all this up, I guess it's to say that the Series X and S now estimates, because they don't actually release the exact ship numbers or the exact sold numbers of their consoles, it is now over 12 million, and Xbox Game Pass subscriptions are over 25 million. As we know, Phil Spencer revealed that with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So man, Xbox is a huge piece of Microsoft now. They can really see the revenue that's available within the gaming industry, and they're going to continue to bolster that division for Microsoft, and more money is going to be pumped into it. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more things down the pipeline, such as the Activision Blizzard acquisitions, or just more amazing games and deals for games coming to Xbox Game Pass on day one. Now, when it comes to games specifically, the first-party Xbox games have just been absolutely doing incredible. So they saw record engagement during the past quarter from October to December, which makes a lot of sense. You think about Forza Horizon 5 coming out and Halo Infinite coming out. And with Forza Horizon 5, 18 million players have played the game. And then we actually got this announcement here from Halo. You can see it here from Daniel Ahmad, but Halo actually put out their own kind of announcement coinciding with the financials. And it's that over 20 million people have played Halo Infinite so far. It's the biggest launch in Halo franchise history. Now, that's pretty incredible. It makes a ton of sense, especially with like the ecosystem thing and the game going free to play, and the fact Game Pass has 25 million subscribers, so instant access where people can jump in and play and they don't have to worry about going and spending that $60 in order to pick up the game. So this type of news, this type of information, again, it's just going to push home the point of the success of the ecosystem model. And if you're a developer out there who wants to get people into your game right away, because one of the big things with a lot of these multiplayer games is not just selling how many copies you can sell, it's how many people are you going to have playing the game to spend money on microtransactions to keep the community alive, so that you can continue to push content towards them. So they're spending their time on your game and not spending their time somewhere else. And numbers like this with the 20 million people playing Halo is going to push further the point of either you put your game free to play, or you launch it right into Xbox Game Pass, get access to 25 million people, and you're going to have a huge community right off the bat. And if your game is good enough, people are going to stick around, people are going to continue to play, and then you're going to be able to make more money through whatever means you have within microtransactions or whatever other monetary things you have within your game. That's just the way I see it when I see these numbers and I see Xbox showing off how just well their strategy is currently working. And I think overall it's going to be best for all of us gamers going forward, not only from more games getting into Xbox Game Pass, because developers are going to want people playing their titles and they know they have that instant pool of access from the Game Pass subscribers, but I think other companies within the industry, like I said, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever other company wants to get into the subscription model, are going to continue to want to provide us with more value, because I think now they're seeing their goal isn't get them to spend the $60, it's get them to play the game for as long as possible, and you're going to be able to make more money over a lifetime of them playing the game than just paying that $60 once and playing it for a few hours. So I guess the takeaway from all of this is that the strategy is working. Xbox continues to grow. The content is the king. So if they continue to put out great content on Xbox Game Pass, first party, third party, or whatever, Xbox Game Pass content and services will continue to grow. The subscription model seems like it is the best strategy going forward in the gaming industry, whether you're a fan of that or not. That's just stuff like this shows that, especially with the fact that the revenues were up even though their third-party sales seem to have suffered. But it's exciting because I think this is going to push Xbox even further to get more great Xbox Game Pass content, increasing the overall value of the service. Will we see a price increase of Game Pass in the future? Who knows? I mean, me personally, if they increase the price by a couple of dollars, I would still be okay with that. I think it would definitely still be worth it, especially once you start seeing the Bethesda stuff come out, and then the Activision Blizzard stuff come out, and then the Xbox first party current Xbox game studios, other than Bethesda and Activision Blizzard, releasing their games on like the 3 to 4 monthly time basis. It's going to be just an insane amount of value. So I'm excited for it, and it's great to see that the growth is continuing. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What do you think about all of these numbers? Are you impressed with Xbox's growth? Halo's numbers, Forza's numbers, all that type of stuff. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you see throughout this video, I would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, help this channel grow and help grow this community. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.